All right, here we go. We got the video, we got the audio, and we have to make sure everything is plugged in correctly. Okay, hey, I'm your host Talib, back again. Just gonna have a good time and enjoy each other's company because that's where it's at. Okay, I got my buddy here, good guy, great man, Mr. Shorty Rowe.
Yes,
You know what
sir.
I'm saying? West Coast veteran and representative.
Yes, indeed.
Joining me on the live today. He has some thoughts he wanted to share. So we might just kick it and be human. Yeah.
Yeah, we
I'll,
definitely gotta be human. Lady in life form, but in a human. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. There
Yep.
we go. We're just gonna make sure the volume is good. Yeah. I'll put a one in the chat if you can hear. Okay. I need to see where the chat is at. Oh, there we go. We can see the chat right. Put one in the chat if you can hear me. It's real good. Okay. And good.
It's a beautiful day out here.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Beautiful.
Hey. Yes, we got a one in the
It's
chat. The Holly in the house.
hot than hell.
All right. So
Yo, what's up, Ole?
Shorty, show a little bit about yourself with the people, man. About who you
Man,
are in the West Coast, and I'm repping real Marvel real hard. I am
yeah.
gonna go see the Superman. I should be wearing my Superman apparel, but we have some things. He really wanted to talk about this Ironheart situation,
Yeah,
so we're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
get
yeah,
into
yeah,
that. But
yeah,
first,
yeah.
Shorty, Shorty's a very talented guy, so I wanted to share some. I'm usually on here talking about the power of the mind and some of the things going on in the world, and we might go down. We're gonna go down some of those paths today, but I'm not. This image of you have to be like this monk-like image in order to enjoy the power of the mind is ludicrous. You can be a regular person that understands the ways of the world and understand that you're here to enjoy this
This
whole life
whole
unfolding.
life.
So you allow it to be a person. So
Yeah,
I'm just here to be a
yeah.
person with you guys today. Join me on my other channel, there, Talib Kearns. There's Only Now, where we delve into the power of the mind, where I'm sharing tools, methods, and techniques that are not absolutely necessary. But I know that when you get a hand
They
on
actually
some of
work.
these techniques and tools, it'll allow you to start accepting the natural ability you already possess that no tool technique is actually needed to use. But you need to go through certain processes so you could begin to see the power of the mind and get comfortable. Once you have an example of how that actually works, you're able to just go ahead and use it how you see fit. So tell people a little about it. We got Jonathan Thomas in the house.
Man,
What's going on, John? How you doing, brother? Welcome to the show. Thank you very much. We're gonna talk a little about that Ironheart, but I'm gonna let my man Shorty speak a little bit about himself.
yeah, thank you very much. Thank you much for, allowing me to come and enjoy your space. I've been an artist all my life, man.
What kind of artist?
I rap, uh, you know, I rap. I can make up some dances. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. You know what I'm saying? But now I rap and I'm a cinematographer. I do videos and photos. So, Shorty Vision Films. You know what I'm saying? What's up, y'all? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've been out here in Vegas for a little while. I've been out here since like '05, and just been out here working in production and working in videos, and man, I'm out there networking with everybody, with all and everybody. You know what I'm saying? As long as you got a good product that's good enough to be in somebody's hands, man. Hey, I'll probably be the guy that you be talking to get somebody hands. Peace out to everybody that got love. You know what I'm saying? Peace out to all my peoples.
Who are
You
your
know what I'm saying?
peoples, man? Tell us
My peoples,
where
everybody,
you from in the
man.
West Coast, man. Come on,
I'm
man.
from
This
the
is
Bay
the real
Area,
He's a
man.
G, man. He a
I'm from
G,
the
man.
Bay
He a real
Area,
dude,
man.
man.
I'm from Menlo Park, man. Shout out to all my people in Menlo Park, East Palo Alto. You know what I'm saying? My boy King Saito out there really doing some things. We got it's an upcoming event going on in East Palo Alto for all the residents that can make it out there. If man, even I'm out here in Vegas, man, and I'm trying to get out there to the hometown and bask in the elements. So yeah, saying it's always good to go home and get in touch with your peoples, man. Straight up, real shit. But yeah,
Mm.
I'm out here in Vegas from Menlo Park, East Palo Alto, in the Bay Area. You know what I mean? We out here doing it, bro. For real, you feel me? Shout out to all my peoples in Menlo Park. You feel me? What up? Your boy.
Mm. I like it. I
My
like
boy
it. Okay.
Prozac too. Can't forget my little Prozac. You know,
Mm.
chilling with my boy Talib, man. We just gonna sit in here and talk, man. I want to talk about this Ironheart, man. It's really, really, really bugging me, man. I don't know
We're gonna
why
burn
it's really
one
been
and talk
bugging me.
about Ironheart.
You
Bro.
know
Why
what I'm
not?
saying?
Because it's a nice day and
Yeah, it's
responsibilities is taken care of. So it's just a moment of enjoyment. So
yes,
you
yes,
know.
yes. Oh, okay, yes. Let's bask into the moment of enjoyment right now. You know what I'm saying? So, actually, it'd actually be cool.
Or we ain't gonna. But I'm just saying. Go ahead. Tell. So what you think about the Ironheart show? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I
you
actually
want to share?
think it actually is a good show. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just have a way of looking at TV and film because I've been involved with it. So I kind of know certain things. And, you know, it just seems like it seems like Riri's always in trouble because she starts trouble. Seems like she didn't refuse to walk away from him knowing that he was a criminal and this and that. She still was just like, all right, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what I need to do to go ahead and it's like, you know, my projection on looking at that is just like, okay, you know, for the kids that's younger, that's really not understanding that or looking at it like that. What is that? What is that projecting to them? You know, us as adults, we look at stuff and we can understand it for what it is as we look at it and we see it and we know we be responsible for our action, do what we do.
Mhm.
But a kid like looking at that is looking like, okay, so is that something that is that how you know it's okay for me to be bad first and then come around and then try to make up for it, so that's good. So I mean that's just my thought about my rhetorical way of looking at the season. Let's say
Mm. Well, I spoke on this, but I'll
you
go
did?
ahead. Yeah, I'll
Okay,
share with you
okay.
my thoughts on it. You know,
Okay,
I
okay.
feel like the show is how can I say this? First of all, there's talented actors. I mean,
Yes, yes, we're not taking away none of that.
nobody did not come across as if they could not deliver a line
No. They was wonderful.
convincingly. It's
They
just
did
that
great.
was what being said and how it was set up was
Mhm.
that convincing.
Was
It wasn't. Here's my issue with the show. First of all, right? It's a bastardization of the original character, right? It's not an homage. It's not trying to show any of that. It didn't take from the comic book. She is irresponsible. She starts off the show with stealing property, plagiarizing, and under the guise of money, which makes no sense since she was with the Wakandans. She built stuff out there. They spent millions of dollars to help her build a suit. I don't understand where she's and anybody that understands anything about the world and money and how that functions to any degree, even with the suspension of disbelief, it's hard to believe she has absolutely nothing. This isn't logical. And then another thing is she steals the suit, right? And they never chase her down for it, right? They never chase her down.
They never did.
Another thing I did not like is that everything we get to show, she's a genius, but all she's doing is rehashing technology she didn't invent, right?
Mhm.
The hologram projection was from the Barf, from Tony Stark and Mysterio. That was his technology. The brain scanning stuff, we never really was even introduced to that, with the exception of that stuff with Barf. So what did she invent? Secondly, in that presentation, it said that it was very expensive and it needed a very powerful computer to do it. And it was like this pet peeve project that probably wouldn't even get off the ground. Somehow she's using it on a laptop. I don't care if you have the top gaming PC laptop on earth. You're not doing that. Plus, they never expressed to us or showed us in any kind of exposition that she built her own laptop. We have, so from the viewer's perspective, she's just using a laptop that anyone could buy. And somehow she can scan her brain in a device that's not putting out 200 watts, and somehow she can build a whole consciousness in it. And then she didn't have to do anything. It's scanning. So we figured once it uploads the scan, isn't there a next step in the process? Doesn't she have to tell it what kind of AI to build from the scan? You mean to tell me it just did it all on its own? So was the AI that built the brain scan of the AI an AI? Huh. And she got to do it while she was sleeping in deep theta sleep, where she was reliving the friend and the shooting of her father, but yet we only have the friend. Where's the stepfather? Matter of fact, her whole motivation was the stepfather. He died trying to save her friend, and yet he is still a secondary character in her mind.
Ooh, that's really. I
Somebody make that make sense.
She wasn't thinking about her dad. She was just thinking about her friend.
That's it. She didn't think about her dad. She didn't think about her friend. She didn't think about anybody other than herself. Right? Why did she make a deal with the devil? She made a deal with the devil because she wanted to get her AI back.
Well, see,
She didn't make a deal with the devil to bring her friend and the stepfather back. She did make a deal with the devil. She shook his hand.
Well, it didn't show it.
It did show it. We saw her.
No, we saw the.
Did you watch the show?
We saw. Yes, I did.
They went back and showed. They did a close-up scene of their two hands shaking up and down, bro. There's literally a scene that shows that after when they touched it was real, it goes back to the diner and shows that she's shaking his hand. She made a deal with the devil, and she didn't even know who the devil was. Then with some being who says the other being she thought he was, who's world-shattering, he's not worthy of his butthole, somehow that doesn't concern her.
Now, you know what tripped me out is how did how did Robbins come to the end, and then he in there talking to the little girl. What's her girl name in there in the shop, the magic shop? Her friend or her mom's friend's
Zelma.
Zelma. She looked just like her for real. That's the first thing that I said. She looked like Zelma.
Well, technically,
the black version.
They race swapped the character.
Yeah, truly made the pigtails
from the comic book.
You know, gave her the pick.
And you know, they's like she didn't have to be black.
Anyway, so how Robin's come and asks her for help from supreme powers. And like she knew that she could have actually sent Riri to Doctor Strange, but they know they was doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing. See, something just tells me it's gonna be some funky shit going on with that magic in her suit. Yeah, see, yeah, it's not over yet.
What do you mean?
It's not over yet.
It's not over yet.
It ain't over yet. From now, where they gonna go from here?
It's not. What's not? Well, wait. It's not over yet. No, it's not over yet because Marvel has made one giant freaking commercial. Every movie is just a commercial for the next film, right? And if you didn't see the other commercials, you have no idea what's going on in this commercial. But this is one where they abandoned the previous commercials. Her excuse for not calling the Wakandans is because they won't understand that she got in trouble. Meanwhile, she helped them fight a war. How did make that make sense? And don't tell me because she's young, because she's supposed to be a genius who thinks things through. So much so, she could take apart a car, meld the metal material. How? I didn't see any molding in there. I didn't see anything that could actually shape metal and then smooth it out. There's no metal urgencies in there. I don't understand how she was able to take it and turn it into fine, smaller pieces of material that could be bent and wrapped around. How did she do that? That's a whole process within itself. She didn't have one, two. That's not genius. That's MacGuffin.
Hey man, we call them. I call Mythbusters for that one. Hey Mythbusters. Hey, let's see if we can make an Iron Man suit without none of the tools that you can see
out of a car. We're gonna take the car apart. I guess the metal in the car was replaced with vibranium. Nobody can explain to me how the mother bought the car back. and brought it to the shop without her seeing who drove the car there. How the
Well,
car just mysteriously
well-
ended at the shop in this dangerous neighborhood where her stepfather and best friend was gunned down during working hours, obviously, because the shop was open. And in Chicago, there is a guy who has made an entire career out of the violence out of Chicago. But somehow this show, it looked like Sesame Street, the movie.
Hey, you know,
It looked like Muppets Take Manhattan.
man,
Come on, bro. It's like, where are you? Where are you? Like, this is a great opportunity to show a black hero doing some real good in the black community.
I mean, seriously.
But all she wanted to do was be a
fighting-
rapper.
Fighting for something that actually really means something in the black community. I mean, seriously, I mean, you know. What?
Word is God 91. Welcome in. Good to see you again, my friend.
Yo.
We was just talking, just to let you know, we talking about the Iron Heart. I'm
Yeah,
sure that
shit,
you,
yeah.
if you didn't, you heard. And I'm just amused that they've sunk in this low with television that we would even debate that this is a good show. Like, this is there's no heroism in the show. There is none. I wasn't even finished yet, man. You
Man,
brought it to Doctor
man,
Strange. Let's
man.
go to this.
Yeah.
She goes to a friend, the mother's friend, finds out the mother's friend is some sorcerer who didn't finish school. And the only reason we know she didn't finish school is because for some reason the daughter felt like she had to put her mother on blast in front of her friends.
Hey, I just
Why?
I just really want to just ask this question out there to everybody that, you know what I'm saying, all my peoples, you feel me? That do I can't relate to that action. We were raised to totally I can't see.
I don't know what
I don't
listen.
know.
I wasn't
don't
born in
know.
this era,
I
so there's some
wasn't, so
things that are very different to me.
they
You
are.
cannot explain to
Cannot.
me and make me understand and
Ah.
rationalize while this woman is sitting here talking to her black mother in such a way and tone while
Like
she's
she
in the
haven't
midst
lost
of
either.
danger, like she didn't lose the stepfather, as if that relationship with her friend was more important and more valuable than the breadwinner of the house who loved her and nurtured. We never saw in the past the mother nurturing her genius. And every time we see the mother now with her genius, she acts like that's your thing. I have nothing to do with it because
Yeah,
you're too
true,
damn smart
true.
for me.
Yeah.
But the father was actually involved. So why is there no connection to him? Right? He's not even the father. He's the stepfather. So just let me ask you this one question. If he's the stepfather, what happened
What
to the
happened to
father?
the real father?
Once
Things to
again,
make you
once
go-
again, we got the man image being just totally mistreated and thrown to the side because, and they're gonna give you the story that, well, it's because for years women's stories have been mistreated. Bro, go back. Let me tell you something about this women's and then people saying gay stories weren't never being told. Go back into the 1970s and look at a show called Soap. Tell me if this controversy is real. Right? Go back and go look into the predominant female shows, how many of them there were.
You know, I always wonder. you know,
Nobody want to talk about that. They want to act like that didn't exist. Oh, there's no more female heroes. They were never female heroes. We didn't
No,
have
they was
nothing.
put on the
What are
back
you talking
burner.
about? They were there. They existed. These
they
movies. They
just
movies
was put on the
existed.
back burner.
Were they? Because if you go start looking at the stats on these shows, these were #1 shows.
Which
They did
ones?
very good. What?
Which
Mel's Diner, I Love Lucy, which was not.
No, you're talking
No,
about-
let's stop playing.
I'm thinking
Be-
you're talking about superhero. I'm thinking.
No, I'm just saying the female shows have been around and gay characters and all these things have existed in the media. Have they been misrepresented? Have they been stereotyped? Yes, we all have.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
all
yeah.
have been stereotyped in
Yeah.
movies because
Yeah.
they are works of fiction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you start finding your identity in a work of fiction, that's when this whole thing is dicey. And now everybody, this character Riri is built around some identity of a person that really exists, and they don't.
I just can't understand how she can be so smart and her mom not be a part of her life. I I've known, I've seen, and I've been around black women that cherish their child's education. Now, how is it on this? She's the smartest girl in the world, and her mama do not cherish her education. Okay, I'm just talking to my people. That right there is what I have a problem with Ironheart. It doesn't fit in how I would visualize Riri being as smart as she is, being raised, and the things that she's doing. I just it's beyond me. It's that it's giving a false presence of all my black queens out there that are raising their kids, that are into their schooling, into their soccer, and into their anything and everything, and that just don't sit right with me. That's what I have a problem with the Ironhearts. That's it.
I have a problem with the fact of we don't know how to create heroes anymore. There's no heroes in these stories because there is a social message that's being pushed very, very hard, very strategically, and they don't even care about the money because believe me, they're making these movies and they are hemorrhaging millions of dollars. Okay, half these things they're making, they're not making toys to because they can't sell them. Right? It's an indoctrination that's happening because they don't even care about the story no more. We saw this birth of the anti-hero, which I was like, okay, I love that. Let's have a moment of that. But where are the heroes? Where are we? Then all of a sudden, all the movies were villains. All of a sudden, we're sitting around empathizing with the villain. We can like a villain, but we should like the villain for the right reason, because he's an intriguing character, right? Because he has a motivation that is questionable, right? But we know it's wrong, right? This is why we like the villain, right? Because the villain points out the flaws of the hero. But now the villain is the hero. And he's justified in doing crime. Now, at the end of this show, which was like two whole length films, right? At the end of this show, instead of her realizing that she's been selfish, that she's been misguided, and that maybe the people that came before her, she could actually learn something from their mistakes and from the things how they rectified and found retribution, right? Maybe come to the realization that she's been not thinking about after the conversation with the hood and him telling her, you're not stopping the bus, you're not out here saving people, you out here trying to take this hood from me, right? You would figure after that she would go, it's time that I use this for a better purpose, because I obviously don't want to go get a job unless it's a job that's going to pay me a lot of money and look the other way when I steal from them.
Well, I mean, come on, that's the whole thing right there. It's just like what job when you stole from MIT, you stole from MIT. Like
You didn't only
what
steal
job-
from
what
MIT.
job-
You use black
Girl.
market illegal tech to go out and commit a crime on a highly restricted facility. And then in the
Dang,
process of being
Dang,
caught
Riri.
which someone explain this to me. Explain this to me. Wait, hear me out.
Woo, let me hear this. Let me hear this.
Didn't she say that this material is invincible? The energy signature unknown. It's indestructible. She said that.
When it was doing the when it was looking at the cape, analyzing it, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so how she cut it off?
With laser.
How? It's indestructible.
I mean, it's been blown up, burnt. Well, I mean, she would.
But then how did she cut a piece of it off?
I guess that's the least common thing that she didn't think about that
What?
actually
How
will work.
did you cut it off though?
But actually, how you cut it off, and then you know that you can cut it off with a laser.
How you know you could cut? First of
Wait,
all,
hold on.
if it's
You didn't get
transferring and
past it.
trapping heat and it cannot, so how does light amplification through a stimulated emissions of radiation going to make a difference? That's laser, by the way. Huh. So
Yeah,
just
you
tell
got
me
me.
where's
You
the
got me
science
there
in
on
that?
that one. That I don't know if that was science. I think that was
That's dumb. That's MacGuffin stupid.
yeah, that's some MacGuffin. That's a good one for
Who does that?
boof.
That's dumb.
Mm.
Think about it. If an object is indestructible, how can you take a piece of it to analyze?
You know the cool thing is? Mm. Mm.
If I
Yeah, that's
can't
just
be
like
cut,
saying that
how will you cut
that
me?
how did they cut animanium? Animanium.
Antimanium is
Animanium.
virtually indestructible.
When it hardens, right? That's Wolverine shit.
Right.
Yeah. When
But it can be melted.
but it can be melted, and
And it has to
be
go through a
maintained
certain treatment
yeah,
and conditioning to
and
be
stay at
done
a
so.
certain temperature. Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Is that same thing?
No, because it's not indestructible.
Vibranium?
It's vibranium is the toughest substance on Earth.
Okay.
By the
So-
means of what we use as weapons, conventional weapons, it's indestructible to that.
Okay, so
It cannot be destroyed by that.
all right, hear
But
me out.
we
Hear me
both
out. Hear me
know
out. I'm just saying that's just like saying that somebody can come and shave a piece of Captain America's shield to duplicate it or analyze it.
it's not the same because Captain America's shield is not indestructible.
Can you shave it? Can you shave a piece off?
Can you just shave with a knife or
Oh,
any
well,
kind
yeah,
of weird
shit,
material?
Thanos- my
No, you
bad.
can't.
Thanos
But you
demolished
can.
that shit,
Remember
so
that?
yeah,
You can
yeah, he
actually
did.
cut into
Yeah,
that shield.
yeah,
Vibranium
yeah,
is not
yeah.
indestructible. It's just the hardest substance we know of. So the cape is indestructible. Why? It's not actual
That's not-
physical
that's
matter.
not no
It's
physical
made
matter.
up of
That's
some
some
weird
weird
energy that's
magic
not
energy.
from here.
Yeah, that's from a different dimension.
So how can you cut a piece of it off?
You don't even know what dimension it's from. So how do you? Where did we go from? Seriously, I mean,
Just explain it. How do you cut a piece of it off? You can't. You can't explain it. It's a MacGuffin device. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
I understand movies and I love.
And here's
movies.
another thing. Wait. Let me just say this real quick. I'll let you get into it.
Yeah.
Let me say this ridiculous
Let me
ass
get it.
thing because this is serious right here. Think about this for a second, man. She's gonna go and say in the middle of a heist, right? When everybody's on their highest alert, and I'm supposed to be somewhere, and I need to be there in order for this part of the heist to actually be successful. This is the opportune time to attempt to laser an indestructible garment. Wouldn't it have been better to go back, get them drunk after the heist? Everybody passes out. You find a way into the room where it's kept. Go in, try to take a piece that way.
Wait, where? Okay. Seriously, stop. Everybody, put on your big, your.
I'm just saying,
your
this
big
makes
boy
no
cap.
sense. And
It
you can
does
say
not.
whatever you want about me, but if we're talking about the show,
I mean,
and we're
it
pulling
doesn't-
out the things that
that
are
didn't
what
make
I
sense to me.
call immersion breaking,
It didn't make any sense to me.
you know what I'm saying? And then you're going to tell me the power that the suit gave her was the power of illusions that are somewhat real? Like, once again, isn't that what Mysterio did?
So is she?
And Spider-Man
is she
Far
finna-
From Home?
she-
Isn't this the same thing? What original bone does this woman have in her body? What in the hell has she created that says Riri Williams?
I just want to know how the magic know how to just take over her suit, where she can conjure up a spell.
Magic is a word for MacGuffin. She didn't have to learn any spells. She didn't even write the spell in the floor. She didn't even have to participate in the activation of the spell. She just stood there in the suit. She wasn't given no special instructions or nothing. Right? Right? And her boyfriend is the most Is this what's going to be like when we get AI robot human looking people? They just going to come in the room like him? Because what purpose did he serve? And why did he keep coming into a room full of women and hollering, "What's up, black people?" Like he's not black. I've been around black people all my life because I am black. And I don't remember anybody coming in the room saying, "What's up, black people?" This term sounds as crazy to me as Black Lives Matter. These are terms I don't believe were created by black people. You know, a lot of other races like to write for us. You know,
In the image of us,
and
in their image of us.
how they perceive us to be, how they think we talk, when we use certain language, how we use it. They're totally off. They don't even because the few black people they do hang around, they don't understand that the black person around them is moving in a certain way because they have to.
Black person to know that.
You know what I'm saying? And then everybody else, you want to shoehorn into this one thing, like we all gang bang and we all out here on the streets and we all, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
And
do
then-
a, I'm gonna do a little fact check. Do a fact check real quick. How much a percent of the black population are in gang banging or is active gang members? You're gonna look this up right now. Yeah. Yeah. So you could so we could all know the truth. Because you obviously don't know the truth. You think they obviously think that's how we all are. You know. I'm
You know, it's a lot of us out there. A lot of us out there that got
the overall
they
number.
got real. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
The overall number. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see that, but I'm just gonna tell you right now. I could have just put it on, but I'm not gonna go through it. You can look it up yourself. It's 1 to 5% of our population is into gangbang.
Well, I mean, you know.
No, let that sink in for a minute. That means you are more likely to meet someone like me than you are a gangbanger.
And be threatened like you meeting a gangbanger. Dang, that's messed up. Come on, people, let's get it. Let's get it together.
Right? If that's what you into and that's what you do, I'm not here to ridicule or get that. You know, we all out here in a mode, and if that's where you perceive, that's where you perceive. When I'm here to set the stereo on this, that ain't all of us. I ain't got no problem with what my people. Yo, that's what you choose to do. That's your free will and choice. You say there's no way out, and that is the truth because you say it's the truth. The moment you say that's not true no more.
Yeah.
But the reality is, we not out here on that. That image is created so people don't even know how many of us do go to school, how many of us are electricians, how many of us are computer programmers and business owners and engineers and conductors and all kind of amazing positions and jobs that we hold. You don't hear nothing about because you think that more than 40 or 50% of black people running around in the world, goddamn gangbangers. And then this image gets projected out. And remember, perception is reality. So whatever you start telling yourself is real, that's what you're gonna start seeing around you. And that's why I think that Riri Williams is the alternate perception of young black women. And make the older black women sit down and get in their place. And you need to listen to these.
You need to listen to me. I'm grown now, you know, and I'm gonna do what. Oh boy.
No.
You know, it used to be mocked and we laugh about it a lot, but you know, in them times when we laugh about that stuff, that was the most strongest times that we had to be.
That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So like, that's what I'm talking. Yeah, listen.
So yeah, I mean, if there wasn't times where I had got my ass whooped for what I needed to get it whooped for. My thought process on how to evaluate a situation and take accountability for what I've done would be totally different. You know, we when growing up and being faced with what your mistake was that you made, and put in a state of correction other than just exception. That's kind of what it is.
Disney is making shows where the main hero is making deals with the devil,
You know
and
why?
that's the season
You know why?
finale.
You know why? Because people still watching it and people still is paying attention to it. If people would just not do dinner, if Disney was to not have nobody come into their place, and come on, y'all, it's bigger. It's not no more about just uh saying about what it's a point to where we need to stop the flow of 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 negative vibes. They're just flowing. You know what I'm saying? And they're being accepted and looked over because people feel that they don't want to say nothing, or they I don't I ain't gonna put nobody in check. You know, I ain't gonna say nothing because that's that person's life and this and that. Now, like how I explained to somebody the other day is that you have to understand the value of the people that you around. You have your family, you have your friends, and you have your associates. Now, you value each accordingly. However you feel about friends, family, and associates, you value them accordingly. You know, you treat family as family should be treated. You treat friends as they should be treated, and you treat associates the way they should be treated, which all isn't fair because if you want to treat somebody well or you want to be treated well, you have to know how to treat somebody well. How a person gonna tell you that you don't know how to treat somebody well when that person don't treat people well? I don't make that. You know, it's really about making sense. You know, a lot of people out there is just running around and people just accepting whatever they say and not, you know, putting them or upholding them on the words that they saying. And you know,
Mm.
and that alone it just bypassed the that that learning of accepting that you're wrong.
Mm.
A lot of people just, you know, and you see them. You know them people when you run into them people. The people kind of don't know how to value a situation that a person may be going through because they don't understand and this and that. Kind of, you know, in real true actuality, they really don't even have to nothing for them to understand that's going on in your life. Now, what you can do for yourself is just take a breath and just make sure that you're projecting the most positive version of yourself to a person. Oh, we have responsibilities. Ain't nobody and in control of anybody. You can't judge anybody really. At the end of the day, whatever goes on in somebody's life is going to be decisions that they have to deal with.
Yeah, like the creators of this damn show, right? They're gonna have to deal with the fact that they made this garbage and that people didn't like it, right? And that's
Yes,
just the
that's right.
fact.
That's
And
just
they
a fact.
thought that okay, these people that we knew get to like it. You know what your problem is? Let me tell you what the real problem is here. And this
Tell me,
is the
T.
real problem. Problem is the people that made you the most money are the ones that don't like this. Man. We don't like it, right? And if you can't find a middle ground to program and condition and socially engineer people to behave a certain way while making good shows, then you're still going to get this kind of response out of people, because that's what it is, bro. You're giving us trash, things that don't make sense. They're not coherent. You don't follow the rules of storytelling. You don't follow the rules of a hero or a character. All you do is you bring in this trash and you force these characters down our throat that are all social media viral memes of people that none of us actually like, right? These people aren't liked. And you have to remember, just because they got a lot of follows and likes doesn't mean they're actually liked. We know they just put the thumbs up button there. That's not necessarily the representation of your feeling. It's the only thing you can use to express your feeling. So let's not get it twisted. Nobody actually likes these people, okay? They're not likable. Look at what this girl did with the Snow White. She went up there and made Snow White a fool. And it's like, look, you didn't get to the truth. You didn't tell the true pagan story of Snow White. You didn't tell the true indoctrination, witchcraft, and all the other satanic symbolisms that was thrown into Snow White. You want to make it about, ew, and the guy has to kiss her to wake her up. That's misogynist and this, that, and the third. And it's like, okay, that is stupid. It's dumb. It's a fool's errand. Right? Because it glares over the fact of, what do you mean? Don't you mean you're trying to say romance is stupid? Because guess what? Here in America, people love romance. They love the ideal of falling in love and being with somebody they care about. That's what people freaking care about here in America. So when you take the concept of romance and love and belittle it down and turn it into only a person being obsessed with another person who is a goddamn sociopath, then you get this kind of madness. And you wonder why they're doing it? I'm going to tell you why they're doing it. Because as you watch this kind of stuff, they're feeding your mind suggestible ideas about society. And that's what they're getting away with. And that's why we see all these people. Okay, let's switch gears. Let's get off of this Riri for a second, because it opens up even a bigger thing. It opens up
it's
the
not,
relations
it's really not
between
about
men
Riri.
and women,
Yeah.
which has fallen
It's not
into
about
a
Riri.
dark abyss,
Yes.
right? Where men and women see each other as enemies
Oh my gosh, I was walking by this
and not two sides of the same coin anymore.
Oh man, it was just so sad, and I wanted to say something to her, and the look on her face when she looked up and seen me, and I was walking by, and I kind of like was shocked. I kind of like just moved out her way and just let her keep on going about her way. I didn't even want to say hi, how you doing, or just because I was raised that, hey, you know what, you greet everyone you have eye contact with. I I will greet you. Hey, how you doing? You get eye contact with me, I'm saying hi to you. That's just how I was raised. Well, I mean, I don't have to say nothing else to you after that. But in passing, you're gonna know that I'm gonna say hi, Shorty Road. Now, but like it just her just the look on her face when she seen me. I didn't even want to say anything to her. She looked at me like I was disgusting or something. Like like I mean, I was dressed pretty nice, you know. I just come from an event and stuff, and I'm like, wow, okay. Whether a bad day or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, the image of my beautiful white black woman out there right now is not being portrayed as I know it is. I mean, I have my fair share of knowing some pretty cool and some okay people. And you know, even with that, and even with their stories, the distance between the mother and the smart daughter is something that's just killed me right there. I'm sorry, it just killed me right there. I haven't seen that in any fashion of turmoil in a black woman's life, especially when dealing with their kids. And she's smart and she graduated earlier, not from just high school, but from college. And you kind of really just don't have no connection to her because she was under the stepdad. I don't get that.
I don't understand why she had to bribe the janitor to keep an eye on her when she's a child, and the school should be in contact with her because that's the law. So you explain that. And if she's being expelled, and well, at this point, she's like 20 years old because she's been in this school for like 4 to 5 years at this point, which is ridiculous if she's a genius.
I think they're trying to say that like she's supposed to be around 18, like 17, 18, like all of this stuff supposed to be happening around that time frame. But even still, man, no. I mean, I like
She went to
I was
school
born-
like MIT when she was 15 years old on the show. It said 15
yeah.
years
Okay,
old. They showed a
15.
flyer of her. She was in MIT by the age of 15. You had 3 years between that with the Wakanda shit, and then there's a year. So she had been in that school, even said, you've been here for 4 years. So at this point, she
So
has
she's
to
like-
be at
yeah,
least
she's like
19,
21.
20 years old.
22,
21
yeah.
years old. She is a grown person at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Okay, she has been in college as long as the average college student. This is not above average. She could have gave them what, if she was such a genius, she could have gave them what they wanted overnight. And you mean to tell me she built an Iron Man suit for the school and she still didn't fulfill the criteria?
How did that happen?
She's actually 20. Like I said, she's 20 some years. She's 20 years old. We fact check here, guys. So you don't have to worry about that. You can do it yourself too. That's the beautiful thing about the information age. Everybody wants to argue about what they think they know when all they have to do is look it up. There's no need to argue a discernible fact that has already been documented. All we have to do is go to the source, and now we know who's right or wrong. And is it really about being
Fact.
right or wrong, or is it just about having the correct information?
Man, it's about having the correct information. Can't pass information incorrectly. We all learned that from.
That's all they do is pass information.
we all
correct,
we all
incorrectly.
learned that from the secret circle. If you know, if you know. If you don't, then you'll find out. You feel me? The secret circle, you'll know.
Yeah.
Once one message is passed through the secret circle, it won't get back the same. Let's say that.
No.
Let's go there. So you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. My thing with the dating is a war. It's like women have a very, very negative outlook on men. Men have a very negative outlook on women. And both of these criteria are based off of personal experiences the individuals have claimed to have with other people. But they never talk about the value they have for themselves when they met that person.
I think that'd be a part of there'd be a part that'd be lost. It usually, depending on how I always look at it is like, everybody's situation is different. Some people, they know the things that they can correct and they know the things that they need to change. Some things are worse than the others, depending on whoever's story it is, but what in the last few years, what I've started to see is that it's more of I would value relating to what you have other than value the person that you are. That I talk to you over dinner, over whatever, over snuggle time, over whatever, when I actually really get deep. Like for all those guys that actually know what I'm talking about, that actually take that chance and with someone that you actually want to take a step further with, you give a little bit of yourself to that person, and for a guy, we're not used to that. We're not used to truly tapping into our emotions and things like that. I mean, real guys, real men out there, then when them kind of things is taken for granted in a relationship with a person, the value of commitment is based on that person's commitment. And the reason why I say this is because I feel that if a guy met a woman that he was getting everything, he really didn't need to worry. It was fun anytime he talking to her and conversating with her, have good conversations. They're outgoing and in touch with one another. She compliments him as well as he compliment her. The value of her attention to him is the value of his attentiveness to what she needs. A lot of women I hear complaining about, hey, they want a man to know what he need to do and know what he this and this and that. And it's sad that, I don't hear no men running out there talking about, I need a woman that need to do this and I need a woman that need to do this. You know what? Plain and simple, a man is like this. Man, if a woman, she like me and she show me that she like me and she into me, seriously into me, man, yeah, shoot. What would be the problem on giving her the world? I mean, I haven't heard no guy saying, "Oh yeah, a girl gonna give me everything. I'm gonna use and abuse. I'm finna stop."
I've heard guys say that.
I ain't just.
I've heard girls say
I've
that.
heard,
I've heard
I actually
dysfunctional
have.
people
I-
say
I-
all kind of shit,
Damn.
right?
Actually,
But dysfunctional people is not a sex. It's both parties.
well, that I say that comes with acceptance because then that's one of those. I mean, because ain't no woman forced to be with no guy. You know what I mean? Period. Just like ain't no guy forced to be with no girl. You know
That
what I'm saying?
depends on your
Both of them
definition
two-
of force.
both of them to make a decision to do whatever they do with each other. That's
Well,
their
that's
decision,
that's
you know. I
that's
mean,
sometimes that's true and sometimes
sometimes-
that isn't. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean,
and yeah, well,
like
yeah,
we-
under the circumstance and
Mhm.
under the event. Now we ain't talking about that. We talking about love. I mean,
I'm
you
talking about
talking
relationships. I'm not
a
even talking about love
relationship,
because
love
love is
relationship,
something you
you know.
can't even express to another person properly until you learn to love yourself. If there's no self-love, then all you're doing is trying to put band-aids on things you believe happen to you that you can change. And you're using other people to do it through. That's
Mm.
not love,
Mm.
right?
Nor-
People confuse infatuation with how a person makes them feel about themselves with love and lust, the
Mm.
desire for that person with
Mm.
love. That's not
Love.
love. You see what I'm saying?
Buddy love.
It's not love.
It's not-
It's not. That's not
it's
what
not love.
that's not what love is.
It's an
That's not how love
impersonation of
expresses itself. That's not expression of love. Right?
No.
You know, love is an openness and a willingness.
Hmm.
And there are things that do not exist within the presence of love because they cannot exist within the presence of love. So when I hear people talking about, oh, well, we argue, but we love each other. We fight, but we love each other. That's not love.
No.
You're in a trauma banded relationship.
And it's something that's always the bond. That's always
The trauma is the
usually
bond.
a child. It's usually a child. It's usually the trauma either between the two. You know, it can be a breath of, you know what I'm saying, dealing with whatever couple.
Well, it's always the
That's
same
going through-
things when it's
well-
trauma bonding. I'm just saying, trauma bonding is
But it's not the same thing in everybody's relationship. That's all I'm talking
everyone's relationship who is trauma bonded is the same goddamn thing. The only thing that's going to change is the surrounding circumstances of how it's expressing itself, because those are two different people expressing the same thing. You feel what I'm saying? Just like jumping,
Well,
we
but-
gonna all do the same thing to jump, though we all will look different doing it.
Well, because a person's way of jumping is two different things. The way this person may
But
jump
jumping
may not
is
be the way
one
that
thing.
person jump.
We all have to spring off of our feet to jump. No one cannot do that.
Some people.
No one can do it. Now he's not jumping. He's teleporting.
What about a bow-legged person?
A bow-legged person
The
still
way that they
has to.
jump is not going to jump like a straight
It
leg
doesn't
person.
matter. He still has to follow the same process in order to jump. How he looks doing it, it's different.
It is.
So
There we
that's the
go.
only difference. But the thing is the same, bro.
It is
What are you
they
talking
jump.
about?
That's like the double entendre.
No, trauma bonding
You
is,
know, one
listen,
thing that make two that mean two different meanings. Like, that's like one of those.
yeah, I see what you're saying on that, but at the same time, trauma bonding is expressed the same in every relationship. Now, the only thing that may change is the fact it's two different people experiencing it, and how their character may be built may have them express it in a certain way that may be different from how you express it. But
True.
that itself, what is being done, is identically the same. The reasons and motivations for it are identical. How it is expressed is what varies.
That's what
But
varies.
we shouldn't look at the expression of it, right? We should look at the thing itself, right? In a trauma bonded relationship, it has to do with being bonded or holding on to a person during dire stress, right? So a lot of our trauma bonding start when we are kids, when we little children. You know what I'm saying? You pushing me out the frame. There we go. It started when we little kids, right? We experience it with our parents and stuff, and it's traumatic or it's overwhelming. And here's a prime example of trauma bonding that I know of being a kid, right? Why'd you do that thing I told you not to do? Get over here. Whap, 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 whap. Come back after you finish crying. They come in. You know, I had to do that for your own good. That's trauma bonding. It is. Go look it up. Some of our relationships that we are in are unhealthy. They're unhealthy. And we have taken the signs of unhealthiness and given it a false identity. We call it love. We call it patience. We call it sticking through. It's not that. What is toxic is toxic. It is based on trauma, yelling and screaming and then bonding, fighting and arguing and then bonding behind trauma. If in a relationship like this,
okay, now we know.
Go for it.
We know that out there that there's a lot of stories to tell. We know our true stories anyway. So, like, let's go through some things that can actually be, because see, with me, and if anybody knows me in person, walking up and talking to me, I look to the better in situations. So let's like problem solve a little bit for the people out there that's out there listening, everybody out there in the world stuff. Let's problem solve for y'all a little bit, just on like, what's the last thing you said? You know what I'm saying? What's the opposite way that we can get people to try to come together and understand each other for the sake of companionship other than relationship? I mean, like, okay, let me give you a first example. Okay, so as us guys dealing with a woman that we are interested in and that we loving and that we look to have a future with. One thing new we can start doing is really start understanding the value of a woman's worth, of your woman's worth, your woman's worth to you. How worthy is it for you to do what's necessary for her to be happy in any sake, at any point, in any reason? I know it's a lot of guys out there that's gonna say, man, we already out there doing that. We ain't worried about all that. And that is true. But look at from her shoes. Step out of yourself for a minute, my guys. When it deals with that woman, I ain't saying all these and all whatever. I'm saying that one woman that you value. Step out of yourself and put yourself in their shoes. Just for a second. Just for a second. You know, I feel that certain little keys to growing when you're in a relationship with somebody, building and growing, family and future and business, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The number one thing is understanding between the two. And yeah, like you said earlier and you touched on, if you don't love yourself well enough, how are you even how how can you even make anyone happy? How can you make her happy? You can't make yourself happy. You really got to look at things
Well,
like
let me
that.
let me clear a couple things up, man.
Okay,
First of all,
finna
you
go
saying
in.
something, man, that I hear you and I can respect. I
Mhm.
don't necessarily agree with that.
Okay.
Here's my thing: I can't make you happy. The moment you spend your life trying to make somebody else happy, you become their slave. You are indentured to them. You don't even realize you are emotionally indentured because every time you do something and think that makes them happy, they get to move the bar.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
No,
fair exchange, love
that's
and
not.
robbery.
No.
Fair
If you
exchange.
already come
Fair
in,
exchange.
if I come,
If she
hear me.
already
Hold
doing
up.
things that are considered
Hold on,
and
hold on. No, you're moving the bar now. You added extra things in to counter the point that I'm making. That's not what you initially said though. That's moving the bar.
okay.
I'm talking about where we at right now.
Okay, where we at right now?
You see what I'm saying? The reality is this, right? When you going into a relationship and you sitting there telling me that I gotta make you happy, and if I don't make you happy, well, wait a minute. When you were a child, who made you happy, right? When did the happiness must come from you? I must enjoy you like you enjoy me.
I
We have to
said,
be.
I said you can't make me happy if you can't even make yourself happy.
My thing is,
And it's
you
the same
can't
thing,
make me
vice
happy.
versa.
I could
Like that's
choose.
what I said
Hear
about
me
putting
though.
myself in
I'm
somebody
saying
else's shoes,
you
yo.
can't make me. I can't put myself in your shoes because I can only be me. So now I'm gonna be assuming what it's like to be you. That's not who you are. You are not unless I make you my assumption. You see what I'm saying?
True.
If I'm open to you, then I will experience you for who you claim to be, and I will enjoy that. I'm not gonna be trying to step into who you are. This is what here's another saying people get wrong. You know what I'm saying? Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. This is wrong, wrong, wrong. Only if you think it good does that make sense. The saying actually goes, do unto others as they would like you to do unto them. You treat people the way they desire to be treated, not the way you want to be treated. That's crazy. What if the things that I enjoy are totally opposite to you? Then what?
Then I can't do what you enjoy. I will do still what I enjoy.
But
That
then
don't
how
have
can
nothing
I
to do with you.
treat you the way I want to be treated if I'm not treating you the way you want to be treated?
Well, that don't mean that I'm gonna be because you don't like what I like. Oh, now I cannot like you now because you don't see it the way that I see it. You're not meant to.
No, but
It's just
that, I'm not
everybody
saying you
has a
meant
point
to.
of view, and
I'm saying this
everybody
is how
does
people
have an
interpret
opinion.
it.
It's okay, and it's okay to have understandings, and it's also okay to have disagreements.
What's that got to do with that?
Everybody is not going to agree with everybody's point.
Nobody
Because
said they does though.
well,
What's
there
your
we
point?
go. My point
Then you
is that
treat them the way they want to be treated.
do unto others as you would have them do
You
unto
do
you.
unto others as they want you to do unto them.
No. You're
Yes,
turning
yes, yes.
around.
You should. That's what it's. That's the act, bro. Go look up. It's a
Well,
Chinese. First of
well,
all,
that-
it's a
that's
Chinese proverb and a Chinese
that's cool.
saying.
That's
It was
saying.
misinterpreted when it was translated. Number two, the actual saying is saying to treat people the way they desire to be treated.
Okay, which is like, I mean, when you run into anybody, when I run into you, how would you like to be treated when I run into you? Come on, kind of obvious, yo.
What?
Well, okay, no. I mean, because like now, here
Now
we
we're
go.
having a real discussion.
No.
This is good.
Okay, so how when I approach you, are you supposed to be treated? How am I supposed to know you from out of the blue or in just even in passing, and I am supposed
Wait, you in passing? No, it's no hi.
because I could
In
say hi.
passing don't
'Cause I
make no
could say- 'cause I
sense.
could say-
That's
'cause I could
not
say
the
hi.
point. We're
'Cause I
talking
could
about
say-
people you're dealing
'cause I
with.
could say, okay, people we dealing with.
Come
okay.
on, man. That's
All
pretty
all
obvious.
All right, okay, let's go
You
back.
just made some
It's all right.
random out of
No,
nothing.
let's go back. Let's go back. All right, people you're dealing with. So anyway, still, people that you're dealing with.
Mhm.
How am I supposed to know how to treat you?
Ask them. Isn't that pretty obvious?
Okay, so in like, okay, hey, not gonna do
I know it's so simple that it's
come over here.
complicated to you.
No, it's not really. Hey, Talib, what you doing today? Oh, I'm nothing. Over and visit for a minute or whatever. Okay, so in treating somebody, it's all kind of like it depends.
Why are you
on
using
what
me
they-
as an example? Why don't you
No,
use
no.
a random example? Here's a good example for you to use. You could use an example like if a person you don't know, right, and you meet
Okay,
them
so
for the
see,
first time,
Okay, so see,
right,
all
and you
that's what I
go,
was talking
"Hey,
about.
how you doing? What's your name? What would you like me to call you?" You feel what I'm saying? Look, you see what I'm doing?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I'm asking, what would you like to be called? I'm not going to assume. I'm going to ask you, right? And just like
Okay.
beyond basic interactions, which we all basically agree upon, there should be some understanding to engage with the person the way they desire to be engaged with.
Yeah, but see, then what if a person don't even want to be like, oh, I don't say my name.
Then I leave them alone, because that's what they want, correct? Now, if I want to treat them the way I want to be
But no,
treated, I may
I
try
mean,
to keep going because I'm thinking, bro, I understand. Let me keep going at you. No, that's trying to
But no,
force.
but
You
see,
see, now I got
because-
to use an example.
Because see,
There we
it was give and receive. You know what I'm saying? You
I get where you're trying to pull, but you're drowning on that one. I'm just saying. I'm just looking at the facts, bro. You know what I'm saying? And my point was that
I totally understand, but you know,
I'm just saying
the facts do escape one thing: humanity, bro. Sometimes, just sometimes, and that's where I value that saying, because it is something that is needed for humanity. I mean, look at like all the things that we know that they're putting out there that they know are lies, and they still show it just for those out there that believe. I mean, is you know, I mean, it's all on the beholder. It's all on who takes in the information and who takes in the information and who values it to really, when they put it back out, they put it out in the correct way instead of a false way and in way, any way that can make whatever for a benefit of whoever, instead of just doing it like it needs. It's now looking into a lot of things just off the book and way out of anything that, you know, my character is associated with thinking. Looking into a lot of the things that the Vatican and even the United States government have that are very useful for humanity, but withhold it for whatever reasons that they want to. I mean, and everybody can go on and on and on and on about what needs to be done, but if the people who can do something about it just hear it and turn a deaf ear, but still want our votes, still want them to put them in office, still want them in these big.
Wait, let me ask you a question. What makes you think they really need you to put them in office?
You know what? Because like an ant colony, man. You have the queen, and then you have your.
We are
your
not ants,
workers,
man. We are
you know,
human beings, and we do not live
and
like
that's
ants.
messed up
Even though
because
we
they
like to use
treating us
metaphors.
like us ants.
What?
Yeah, they're treating us like ants.
What are you
They're
talking
trying to have all of us follow one collective mind state and one world order and all of that stuff.
Bro, they're not trying to do shit.
They
You already
doing all
follow
kind of
it.
stuff,
I don't
man.
understand what you're talking about. Hold up, but shorty,
Yeah,
I love
man,
you, man.
I'm outta
But
there,
they
man.
already doing that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Everybody's. What do you mean? What
Yeah,
else? How
yeah.
much
I'm
more
saying
control
that's what I'm
do you
saying, that's
think
what
they
I'm saying.
need to
What I'm
have
saying is,
before they actually
what
done
I'm
it?
saying, they not. They not.
They not what?
They it's going.
They not
It's
what?
they're
They
not
not
gonna
what?
do nothing about none of that stuff.
Who's not?
Not whoever's in control to be able to make a difference that has the power to. Let's just say them. All of them. Whoever
What?
had the power to.
First
That's
of-
why we have all these
Bro,
troubles
what
right
make?
now.
Wait, talking about what? That's what we got. What?
That's why everything is all the way it is right now. Because everybody's trying to have control over something.
Because they trying to have control. It's
Well,
big-
they have control over that. Actually, I mean, look at all these big businesses and all that to have money that they can put into any of all kind of problems that's going on any and everywhere in the world. But you know, I mean, it's just like, okay, so if I have the opportunity to walk down the street and mow the lawn of an elderly lady that can't mow the lawn
Mhm.
for free,
Mhm.
rather than getting paid,
Mhm.
I would do it.
Okay, but there's people on YouTube that actually have entire channels
Yes.
dedicated to that, where they just
Well,
help people's art.
well, I don't have no YouTube channel like that, and I still would do it. It don't matter about me having a YouTube channel.
Saying
Man,
that they exist, and I was
does.
using them as an
No,
example
no, no,
because
it-
that's
no,
a
it does.
receipt that I'm not making a random comment that can't be verified or proven. Like that's the point that I was making when I said it. What is your point though?
It can be
I don't-
verified and proven.
No,
Look
no,
at
no. I'm just
humanity.
saying. What do
The-
you
the
mean by
ki-
humanity?
what I mean, the kindness of people and humanity, just, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, helping each other out.
Mhm.
As far as when it goes and then when it comes to understanding the value of having family, friends, and associates. You're understanding the value in all three of them. And people sometimes be misplaced on the value of an associate with family members, or a friend with family members, or family members with friends, or family members with associates, or either associates and friends and associates. And they're putting their values into all of these different people and different kind of people that they're coming into in their life, and then they're being misled in certain factions of their learning from these three people that they're encountered with. And everybody is taking on their different approach and their different learnings from that. Yeah, they not, but they online social. So I mean, social.
Associates are
so-
people that you actually deal with
Well,
casually.
they can be friends.
They're not friends
Well,
either
they,
because they don't know these people, and the people don't know them.
but they might be in a friend list and don't even know. So I mean, because everybody can friend and follow everybody.
Okay, I want to know what your point is. I want to be able to participate in this conversation, but you're speaking about humanity, and I'm
I'm
not sure where
speaking
you're
about-
going. So
I'm
I just
speaking
want to know
I'm speaking about the love for people with each other. Bro.
what.
Period.
First, we were talking about relationships.
Relationship is still the same thing. It's still women
No, we're
loving.
talking about-
It's still women loving and appreciating the person that they're with. Same thing with friends.
First of all, my point wasn't about relationships where people are together. It was
Okay.
about the fact that men and women aren't dating, man. You're talking
Okay.
about people in a relationship,
I'm-
and
I'm-
I'm talking about people who haven't had or feel that they can't get into one because of the narrative right now that is being heavily pushed and almost virally thrown in everyone's faces that 1% of the men are only the men that are truly attractive to these women out here, and that if you're
but
not in that,
who's doing that?
who's doing what?
I mean, I did they go?
that's all I was talking about.
They didn't give my vote on that question. So you feel me? Like that don't mean I have to believe that because that man. Nah, I don't believe that. How about that? And yeah, I ain't in no position to be making no big ass whoopty whoops and some papers though. But everybody has a voice, and when people start looking at people like they don't have no voice, well, that's when a person gets angry.
Wait.
That's when a person can get
How has this got to do with this or
volatile
saying
and,
people don't have a voice?
disrespectful and this and that. I'm
What do you
I'm
mean?
talking about people and engaging in people.
I was just talking to you about something that is actually going on the internet right
what's going on around on the internet
now.
right
You're
now?
not hearing me?
You just said that.
I feel like I said something that might have triggered you a little bit.
No, I'm just
Because I'm talking about the fact that there's a big thing within this whole dating aspect of the internet right, in social media that says that women can't are having
Oh
a
wow. Okay. Well, see. Okay.
right.
Okay.
This is where
Yeah.
we're at. I'm not telling.
Yeah.
I know that individually. This was my point I was making.
My thing
That
is.
individually,
Okay.
right, we've
Okay.
experienced these things anecdotally, and then we shape our reality around it. It's not the actual word itself, because I didn't even get this, because we were going back and forth over that, into how the mind can frame reality and eliminate all the other information around you, so you'll only see that one thing. So if they constantly pumping on us right now that men and women aren't getting along, and then all they want is the 1%, when you go outside after watching 100 videos of 100 different people saying the same fucking thing, what do you go outside and experience? You go experience that thing you've seen 100 times, right? Now, when you meet a chick, she says some shit that sounds very much like the video you were watching. And now in your mind, that's confirmation that women out here, they don't want men that aren't making $100,000 or more a year.
Hmm. No. Yeah, like I said before, I can't go off of everybody. I can go off of the perception of the women that I've talked to,
Mm-hmm.
and I've ran into I can say my fair share of it, even half. I ran into my woman that says that, yeah, and then I run into some women that says different. And I'll just leave it there.
Mm.
I don't go either or. It's really the engagement. If you give me that appreciation, I'm gonna give you appreciation. You give me uh I wouldn't say disrespect, but I would say if you're nonchalant or unattentive or un, uh, un, unattractive, I'm unattractive to you in any kind of sort of way, then hey, you know what? I totally can understand that too. You know what I'm saying? But everybody has a choice. Feel me? So, you know what I'm saying? People just gotta be wisely on that person. I mean, when if you understand and you love things about you that, you know, you just have to be vocal. But I mean, I don't. I kind of really am kind of in on limbo with that. On both, like I said, on both. There's sometimes you got the bad, sometimes you got the good. I mean, gosh, Link, would that be the journey for life? Is I mean, everybody is going to be looking for that balance. It's I just see it just like that. It's You're either going to run into some girls that are bad, and some girls that are good.
Right. And
That's
I
not
think
a
that's what's been taught to everybody, but I think that's a lie. That's a misconception. That's not how it actually works. You run
Well, I'm
into
not
it,
saying it how it's supposed to work or how it works or
but I'm
anything.
talking
Remember,
about how
no,
it
no, no, no. I'm
actually
saying
works, though.
about me. I'm saying because how it works for that person may not have to work for that person.
You're
I'm
cutting
saying it
me
for me.
off before I can
No,
finish what
no,
I'm
I'm
saying.
saying me. I'm not like
I
me
know you're
in
saying,
my life. So
mhm.
in your life, you may not have that same percentage balance, and like you have a different point of
You're
view.
jumping ahead of what I'm getting ready to say, assuming you know what I'm going to say, but you don't. 'Cause that's not my point.
What's the point?
You're jumping ahead of me, man. I forgot my point now.
I jump ahead.
How did you that because that wasn't the argument you're making isn't my point. And before I could finish my sentence, you was using a part of my sentence
Mm.
about your argument. But that wasn't what I was leading to.
It was,
Argument in the sense of debating terms. You know, high intellectual words used in a proper form. If I am constructing a statement that is to back and support my point that is different than your point, it's called an argument. That's why in the court he says, "Can I make an argument?"
Just not don't view what you view it. It's never been an argument. An argument It only happens when two people start yelling and cussing.
No, bro, that's one form of an argument,
Okay.
but the word in the
Okay.
Black's Law Dictionary and how they use the word in a debate or in court or any other intellectual conversation, an
Mhm.
argument has nothing to do with two people fighting. An argument is to present your position intellectually with evidence or not necessarily proof, but whatever evidence and information you have that supports your point. That's all an argument is.
Okay.
It's not arguing. Like, oh, yelling at you because I'm mad and I want to make a point.
Yeah.
But that's
it
not
is.
that's not the only use of the word. It's not even the original use of the word. It's
Okay.
a law word.
Okay, so see, you have to
Just a
you have to tell
definitional
me
word.
That.
That's
you
why
have
I-
to tell me that
what
part
did
of
I just
argument.
Just explain the history of the
You
word.
got to
to
tell me you want to argue about that part of argument because I thought you was on the other part of argument.
I'm just gonna sip my
That
drink.
long sip. Oh, man. I'm holding back so much laughs, y'all. I got this. This is my guy, too. I love this guy, man. I be having him fired up. 'Cause I swear, I just be talking shit. I don't give a fuck.
He said fired up.
Just
First of
talking
all,
shit.
because I'm lively communicating with you doesn't mean I'm fired up.
Yes, he is.
I'm not.
He is so passionate, and I love it, man. This guy,
Bro, what you see? Now this is why I brought him on. Do you see this manipulative tactic that he's using to distract from the fact that he didn't make sense?
I didn't have to.
This is why, yo,
I have to collect smiles. Yo, I'm the smile collector, the style injector. Okay, I'm not
he's
even-
falling apart, y'all. This is a first
Hey,
stream, live stream.
this-
And
I am not
and you
falling
know what?
apart.
And the reason I have
My
him on
hair.
here is because he's gonna start going live himself. And this is to push and motivate him to get out there because I think he's a very interesting and awesome person that's very dynamic. And I think he has a lot to offer and share. But sometimes people don't believe and they need a little bit of push. So I went live right now and came on here to show him that you don't have to be the perfect person or think all these things you're thinking about yourself. That's bull, man. Let me tell you something.
I ain't never
People
been
really
out
gonna
there.
like you for you. And if you just get on here and do it, you'll be surprised how natural and good it actually feels to just get on here and talk.
Yeah.
So that's why we're on here today. I'm also going live later. Please look out for that on Talib Kearns There's Only Now. I'll be going on there. We're going to be going over some practices. We'll be sharing some techniques and we're just going to be talking. And I'd love for you to get in the chat, bring me some comments, let me know what I can do to help you and assist you in these times. And, you know, also, please don't be afraid to hit that like button. Please share and subscribe. That's how we grow this channel. The goal is to get this channel up to 1,000 followers right now. That's what we could do it. We could do it. We could do it. We want 1,000 subscribers right now. We need it. We can get it. And you're going to help me get it. And you know what? You got a channel. I'm gonna help you get your goal too, because I'm gonna subscribe to your channel and I'm gonna like your stuff and I'm gonna comment. But this is what we need to do to help grow it. But I want you to know, tell him the name of your channel because he's gonna start going live after the day. This is
My
his birth.
channel,
This
man.
is birthplace for going live right now.
This
So
is my live place birth. This is my channel, Trendy Worldwide. You can go YouTube at Trendy Worldwide.
spell it for the people.
TRNDI Worldwide. You know what I'm saying? I'm on Gmail, you know what I'm saying? You want to hit me up, you know, do photos, videos, you know. I'm just, man, I'm a man of all work, man. Love coming, stop by real quick, took a little time out, stop by.
Obviously,
my
he
guy.
ain't never watched Heavy Gems because he has no idea. Like
Hey,
I don't get upset.
you
You
know,
can't
hey,
rattle
hey,
me.
I don't
But
even really
but
like
the
being-
fun part
I
is
haven't
just
been
to
on
be able to talk
TV
to my
for
friend.
a minute. I just got a couple of little stuff earlier from a couple of my people, so I don't be like on TV, man.
Yeah,
y'all,
but
so,
you know what?
you know, so
We've worked
but I-
behind
but-
the scenes for many years together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Worked on many movies and TV shows together.
Yeah.
He's always been behind the camera, but he's been very talented. And you know, here's the thing: a lot of us, we've probably in the past, you probably tried to make it, you went for it, and it didn't work. So now you feel like you don't want to be in front because it didn't work. But don't be fooled. That door didn't open because a better door did. And you can still do this. Believe me, this is not the past. You can be anything you want right now other than something that's ridiculous, okay? And when I say that, I mean, if you're gonna just say you want to be something just to prove you can't be it, then you already proved your point. You wanted to be a jackass, and you are.
And you are.
But the point here is that we want to grow, we want to share, and you know what? We got a lot of life experience between the two of us, and he has a lot of life experience. And I've learned through my time. And all you have to do, guys, go on the MREC TV, go on this playlist, go look up Heavy Gems, or just go into the search bar, type in MREC TV Heavy Gems, and watch what come up. And so you can see, I have receipts to show that what I know actually helps. What I'm doing actually helps. I do care, and there's proof and receipts to show I do. So just join, come get down, come have a conversation with us. On this channel, I like to talk about everything. Like I said, I'm gonna sit on here for a while. He might cut out, but I'll still be here, because if we get 25 in this live stream, 25 people, just 25, we're gonna start reading the prequel to the book. We get 150 people in, we're gonna start reading the book. So let's get down.
Yeah,
Because I talk stuff about the movies, or I don't really complain, but I just enjoy getting in on sharing my thoughts. But I'll tell you what, I've contributed. I've written a sci-fi book. It has 2 more books to follow. There's a prequel with it. It's amazing. It has all world building, and it has you're gonna read this book, and it's gonna make you ask, who is this guy? How does he know this stuff? Who is he? Read the book and you'll understand. But you know what? I felt like if you're gonna sit here and complain about these movies, if you're gonna sit here and complain about everything that Hollywood is doing, then do something. Make something, create something. Show us that you know something about your critiques, so that we can all get involved.
I ain't even gonna complain. I'm just gonna talk shit. I'm just gonna talk shit about
There
it.
you go. Sometimes you want to just talk shit. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. I can respect that, but keep it to a minimum.
Keep it to a minimum, and be respectful. And be respectful.
If you're
gonna talk shit, talk some funny shit. Be funny. At least be humorous. God damn it.
Well, it ain't funny when you're on the receiving end of a joke, no matter how talented the joke is.
Well, depending.
But my thing is, if you're gonna, you could go. I'm not trying to tell nobody what to do here.
Though.
I think it's just fun to talk about it. But you know, my whole point is, on this channel, I just want to be more myself. I want to share myself to people and be here. So if you get in the comments, you have a question, you want to know something, please jump in. We're gonna talk about so many things on this channel. The stuff that I've created, some of the music that has been made. You know what I mean? We'll talk about some of these world events. I'll share some of the techniques from the other channel over here, you know, and I'll bring in special guests that will come and talk. Sometimes they'll share music. Sometimes they'll come in and just share their views. Maybe they have something on their mind they want to talk about. We'll bring them in. Maybe I got some more people that really I think is talented and need to start streaming, but they ain't had the heart and don't know what to do. I'll bring you in, help you get started, so you can see you can do this.
Oh yeah. You know what? Hey, Talib, you got that copy of my video?
No, I don't have it on here yet. But
all right, I'm gonna have to send that to you.
We'll
get that to y'all.
Yeah.
Go out there and check out on my YouTube channel on Trendy Worldwide, Big Top. Yeah, Sam, with your boy Shorty Row. Yeah, go check that out. A nice smooth groove for y'all when y'all riding on the freeway or in traffic, y'all. You know?
Yeah, you didn't give me the link to it, but that's okay. We'll get the link to it, and then we'll go ahead and, you know, share that too. Plus go visit his channel. Go check out that material out, man, and leave a like and a comment, man. That's all we trying to do here. Everybody else is growing.
That's where you gonna see me at.
And you know, and I'm saying the funniest thing for me is that we at this point now that this is a real thing, you know, and anybody could do it if you believe in yourself and you go for it and you set the mindset for it, right? You leave doubt. The only way to stop doubt is to never have doubt. Don't doubt yourself. Be a little delusional. People will tell you, don't be delusional, be grounded. And you know what? You'll be a worker bee for the rest of your life. You'll never take a chance. You'll never believe in yourself. You'll never start a business. You'll never turn that hobby into something that's profitable, into an enjoyment in which you get paid for. You'll just be waiting to retire. Sure, you might have a nice house and some family and kids, whatever. Sure. Why you don't appreciate it though? Right. Somebody else told you what makes you happy. You did all the things that everybody told you was right, and you're still not happy. Because it's not about what other people tell you to do. It's about Your soul's calling. It's about what you know to do, and then what you do is a benefit to others. That's all that's important.
Well, for those things, person don't know happiness until they really actually are happy.
Hmm. This guy right here. Yeah. Let's see if I can let's see what's going on. Yeah, if you still in the comments, leave a one, you know, and then let me know you still around. Wow. We coming up on an hour and 33. That's beautiful. I didn't even realize I sat here and did this, you know. Yeah, we still here. We still rocking hard. I don't know. Sometimes my language changes up, you know. I mean, it depends on what I'm talking about. A lot of times you could sort of tell when I'm in a mode, I'm receiving a download, my whole tonality will change, my inflections and cadence changes, and there's a very calming energy that comes over me, and I'm sort of in a flow state. But a lot of people know me for that state. But I'm also just a cool person that likes to hang out and talk. And you know, I grew up around a lot of militant people that had a lot of opinions about conspiracy theories and things going on in the world. And you know, my mother was one of the people that had to deal. Was a victim of the Reagan administration and all of the cruel things they were doing to black women during that time. So I have a big history in a lot of that stuff. So yeah, there's no secrets over here. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and try to open up a screen real quick to for my for YouTube. I think that way I can. Yeah, so I can start sharing the screen. Right. Yeah, we still here. What you got to say, man? You can say something. Hmm. Yeah. So I'm just going to have get this screen ready, guys. So if I need to share something, I can. Yeah. All right. I think that's there. We're gonna turn that on for a second. I'll set something up there.
Go to the line.
Yeah, but
Said go to the line.
he's still here.
I said go to the line.
Yeah, he over here on his phone real quick. I guess he got somebody calling. But yeah, you know what? Also, we working on setting up the Discord and stuff so that you can also call in. I'm creating, working on a way right now for you to call in and people to call in. I'm thinking maybe right now I might add a Zoom link or something that allows you to go ahead and communicate. But I'm still working on some of that right now, and we're gonna have that set up very soon. But that's one of the things that's being done at this point. So we're gonna build this out into something incredible and something that a lot of people will be able to enjoy. And most importantly, what I want to do is really just build out a community of people, of like-minded people that have the vision and the goal in mind, and that we can actually do some things outside of YouTube together. Right now I do have a course that you could pick up right now that could really help and improve many things for you in your mental environment. And that's available right now. And if you could check it out in the links. And also, as I said, I have another channel that's pretty much just dedicated solely to that. You can find that at Talib Kearns Is Only Now on YouTube. I think you'll definitely enjoy that. And I'm working on a couple of other things right now that's really gonna make a difference. Here, so that I'm gonna share some of this music with you guys right now. Yes, we're gonna share Shorty's music right now. Yeah. Make sure we got the good audio. We're gonna turn that down. All right. And yo, please enjoy. You'll introduce this song for us, Shorty.
Yo, man. It's your boy Shorty Rowe, man. And this my song, Big Top. Man, right here on the Talib Kearns Show.
Jensen. But yeah,
Talib Jensen Show.
It's the Jensen Show. That's my, AKA the voice of God. You know what I'm saying? But yo,
Jensen.
Here we go. This is Big Top, and I'm gonna go ahead and mute us out so y'all can enjoy this song.
Stepping out looking so fashionable. Don't fuck with no trashy hoe. Plan only to hit and go. Bill fold, give me more. I need them stacks. Never love them, can't trust them. I'd rather have me some racks. Since a young son, I get ghost to pack. Underdog, still making moves on them back streets. Google Map can't track me. I run with my family. This ain't no track me. I'm not like them others. Infrared made his top retreat. It's wicked. The shit I've seen on the block is explicit. Niggas lying and kicking. I'm relaxing in something exquisite. Bending corners and hoods that you have checking local obituaries. I'm a product of them goblins. I can't rave from shit that's scary. Top. My niggas making big guap. Baby girl loving the guy. I'm getting big top. Fiends loving the candy. They know the ice pop. No ricochet. Straight shots. Big top. My niggas, we making big guap. Baby girl loving the guy. I'm getting big top. Fiends loving the candy. They know the ice pop. No ricochet. Straight shots. Let his body ride. No ricochet, straight shots. Let his body ride. Been out Breaking Bad, trapping out of a sample pad. Green packs, raps, and plastic bag. Got something plastic to spit mags. Your girl on my line, cause I'm popping tags. Bring me in that Henny, got me lusting baps. Ghostbuster, yeah, Slimer, that bad hand. Like my nigga, add backstreet life is all I had. Growing up, I didn't have the things I have. Making sure my son know what it's like to have. Hustling hard to get the bag. Keep a clip loaded when I'm popping tags. These suckers shicey don't wanna see me blow a bag. Cross the range to get the cash. Feeling my vibe, but my rhyme is different. You watch the clock, but my time is different. Calculated plot show how my grind is different. Making money move, keep me feeling terrific. Top of your baby mama got me uplifted. Top from your baby mom got me uplifted. Yeah. Big top, my niggas making big guap. Baby girl loving the guy, I'm getting big top. Fiends loving the candy, they know the ice pop. No ricochet, straight shots, big top. My niggas, we making big guap. Baby girl loving the guy, I'm getting big top. Fiends loving the candy, they know the ice pop. No ricochet, straight shots. Big top, my
There we go. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
Top by
yeah.
Shorty Roll. That was
Man,
dope. I shot that
appreciate
video.
y'all. Yeah,
My
yeah.
son edited it. He did an amazing job. I thought he did a great job. The video came out really dope. Go check it out on his channel. Support it. You know. And yeah, that was dope, man. That was pretty dope.
I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? A little something, something. I got some more stuff coming soon, you know. You can catch me at Cork and Thorn on Sundays, you know what I'm saying, with the Syndicate Media Group Mixer, you know. And on Tuesdays, I'll be at Taco Tuesday with I Want In Music Group, you know. And I do a array of things. Having job, like a Jamaican, man. Staying busy, man. Staying busy, staying out the way, staying friendly.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That was dope. That was dope. That was dope. Yeah, what was the motivation for that song, man?
Well, you know, mind state. You gotta have a big top state. It's actually thinking on just um uh, thinking on a higher plane than what you used to.
Mhm.
Taking what you taking your experiences and actually, you know, just looking to do better yourself in a big top kind of way, just like, you know, kind of, hey, not no circus kind of tent, but you know, just kind of unveiling yourself to, you know, experience the world, you know what I mean, in a whole, in the good and the bad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like that song. I liked it. I had made it like team. Shout out to my boy Isotone who did the beat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a vibe, and I just, you know what I'm saying, feeling good around people that I got love for, and it was just, but man, shoot, just let me do something on how I feel on this. Like, feeling like feeling like I'm at the big top. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
my mind state and just how I feel with the people around me, how things going in my life. I guess at that time, you know, it was things was going pretty okay in my life. But doing all right. That was exactly the feeling that came out.
Mm.
Yes,
Yes. I got a song share with the people.
Oh, yeah. That's your
What if you can create your
Sure,
own?
the right thing. Excuse me, y'all. I'm gonna share this. Gotta make sure I think it is.
Forces you to meet the real you, the version that doesn't beg, doesn't. System labeled it dangerous. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna share this with y'all about what they know about how we work and how our minds function. How you could change your whole life overnight. Now I'm gonna share this and then we'll talk about it. It's about 10 minutes, maybe 16 minutes. But I might pause in between and talk about some of it. But let's get into this. Let's get into this, guys.
Let's get into it,
All right, everybody listen up.
ladies and gents.
You understand this, you can't go back. This isn't therapy, it's exposure. What you're about to.
Listen up, guys.
This isn't therapy, it's exposure. What you're about to see was never meant for public eyes, because once you understand this, you can't go back. The collapse file doesn't soothe you. It rips off your emotional mask and forces you to meet the real you, the version that doesn't beg, doesn't break, and doesn't belong in a padded room. The system labeled it dangerous, but danger is exactly what most people need, because if this method works on you, you won't just heal, you'll become spiritually untouchable. There's a method almost no one talks about. Not because it didn't work, but because it worked too well. It was never part of standard therapy. You won't find it in psychology textbooks or clinical training. Why? Because it didn't just help people feel better. It shattered their mental framework. People who used it didn't just heal. They transformed. Fast, violently, permanently. And that's exactly why it was buried. They don't want you to know this, but there's a reason you're still stuck. You've tried therapy, read the books, done the breath work, but your patterns haven't changed. Because most healing methods aren't built to free you. They're built to stabilize you, to keep you functioning, just enough. But if you're tired of managing symptoms, if you're tired of being told healing takes time while your life quietly rots beneath the surface, then you need something deeper, something that doesn't hold your hand, something that rips off the mask. That's what this file was about. A psychological method created by a group of practitioners who saw through the noise. They weren't interested in helping you cope. They were interested in collapse. Collapse of the false self. Collapse of the roles you play. Collapse of the stories that hold your identity together. Because underneath it all, there's a part of you that isn't broken. It's just buried under everything you built to survive.
See, and this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. They understand how you work. You have buried yourself under a series of belief systems to make other people happy, and you haven't even realized that. You think you've been living from your own place of happiness. But let's just move on with this. Let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes. And remember, everybody get your notebooks out, get your pad and pen out, because I chose this video for a reason. He's going to give you some methods that, and then we're going to talk about them. There's some of these things I've done. I know how these things work. And then, because everything we're going to do is to be always improving and moving forward. You see what I'm saying? Or being open to the fact that maybe there's nothing to improve. See, if you believe you got to work on yourself, that you're not this perfect person already that already exists, you don't have the things that you want, and the things that you want are only going to bring you to the acceptance of being who you already are. See, that is the trick. Now, just check out the rest of this, guys. Let's get back into it.
Most therapy keeps the mask intact. This method tears it apart. They don't want you learning this because once you see the truth, you stop depending on them. You stop being manageable. You stop playing along. And that's when you become dangerous to the system, to the patterns, to the parts of yourself that want to stay numb. In this series, I'll walk you through the exact process they tried to hide. It's raw, it's intense, it's not safe, but it works. If you're done pretending, let's begin. Because once you collapse the lie, you don't rebuild the same.
With Lucid Spark, you can bring your team's best and brightest ideas to life. The virtual whiteboard is an infinite canvas.
This isn't therapy. This isn't breathwork. This isn't mindfulness. This is collapse. You're not here to regulate emotions or process childhood wounds slowly over time. You're here to rip the mask off and see what's underneath. The collapse method was created for people who were done surviving, people who knew the strategies weren't working, people who saw the pattern and wanted out. This is that method, and here's how it works. The collapse method operates in 5 structured stages. Each one is designed to strip away a layer of your false identity until all that remains is truth. Identity mapping and destruction, emotional flooding, the void experience, authentic reconstruction, ongoing integration. You can't skip a step. You can't half do it. This isn't an intellectual exercise. It's an emotional one. Let's begin. You've spent your life constructing a persona, piece by piece. You built it to survive, to get approval, to protect your core from pain. Now it's time to tear it down. Most people don't have a personality. They have a defense system. Collapse File. Get a pen and paper, not a laptop, not your phone. You're going to write like your life depends on it, because your false identity does. Ask yourself, who would I be if I could never mention my achievements again? Strip away your accomplishments. Who's left? Which traits of mine are designed to make people like me? Kindness, humor, intelligence. How many of these are just tools for safety? What belief systems did I absorb just to belong? Religion, politics, morality? What did you inherit to avoid rejection? What parts of my personality feel controlled? What do you hold in place daily just to appear stable? If everyone I knew forgot I existed tomorrow, what would I finally allow myself to feel? Now take those answers and burn them mentally. None of it is real. It's a prison built from praise, pain, and survival instincts. The collapse begins the moment you stop.
Let's go back over that again. Let's get that in one more time, guys. Shall we get that in one more time? This is important information right here. This is vital. This is vital. Listen, if you got a pad and pen, write this down. If you don't, come back to this later. Come to this section. I'm going to take this area of the video and I'm going to turn it into its own video, guys. So don't worry. So you can come back to this and write these questions down and ask yourself these questions. Who are you really? Who are you? Are you what people have wanted you to be? Is that why you're unhappy? Because every move you made, you feel as if that's what you were supposed to do. That's who you were supposed to be. Is that not what you're feeling? Isn't that your truth? Isn't that your reality right now? That you feel that, oh, I've done everything that I was supposed to do. Why isn't things working? Everything you're supposed to do by whose account? Whose standard? Everything who told you to do. That's the key there. So I'm rewinding it. Let's go back and check that out again.
The collapse file. Get a pen and paper, not a laptop, not your phone. You're going to write like your life depends on it, because your false identity does. Ask yourself, who would I be if I could never mention my achievements again? Strip away your accomplishments. Who's left? Which traits of mine are designed to make people like me? Kindness, humor, intelligence. How many of these are just tools for safety? What belief systems did I absorb just to belong? Religion, politics, morality? What did you inherit to avoid rejection? What parts of my personality feel controlled? What do you hold in place daily just to appear stable? If everyone I knew forgot I existed tomorrow, what would I finally allow myself to feel? Now take those answers and burn them mentally. None of it is real. It's a prison built from praise, pain, and survival instincts. The collapse begins the moment you stop defending the lie.
When you stop defending the lie. Let this sink in. Who are you? Everything you think you are and who you think you are and what you tell people is only based on what you think they think of you. Even the stuff you stand on and say, well, that's not who I am and how dare they? They don't. That's all a part of the facade. It's just a part of the game. They know this. This is the weapon. It's not the guns. It's not the money. Right? It's not the laws. It's this. So I challenge you. I say to you, this costs you nothing. Just go and get you a pad and pen, write these things down and ask yourself these questions. And then let's have a discussion about this again, guys. Let's do this one again. Let's talk about that. Well, let's get back to the video though, because this is going to get even deeper.
This is where the walls fall. Most people have never felt raw emotion without numbing it, explaining it, or controlling it. Emotional flooding is a full-force method that short-circuits your coping mechanisms. You don't ease into it. You let it hit. Go somewhere private. No distractions. Set a timer. 20 minutes. Pick a memory that still haunts you. Close your eyes. Play it back in full detail. Don't analyze it. Don't journal it. feel. Let the rage, grief, helplessness, and shame move in. Now the twist. Don't isolate the event. Pull the thread. Let it connect to every other time you felt that same pain. Your heartbreak becomes every abandonment. Your rejection becomes every time you were ignored. Your shame becomes every moment you felt worthless. Let the wave crush you. You're not breaking down. You're breaking through. Your body may shake. You might cry, scream, collapse. That's the point. Flooding is controlled emotional collapse. It ends decades of suppression in minutes. Most people never heal because they process slowly and protectively. This method overwhelms the system and forces a reset. It's not safe, it's not regulated, but it's real.
Now, when we look at what we got now, see, this goes into what I like to use with
You're
this
not gonna
Sedona
believe
method.
what happened.
This
Tell me
is
everything.
the
I'll show you.
powerful way to do these
Commonday.com.
things.
So I started the
You see
biggest
what I'm
initiative.
saying? I don't. There we go. Excuse me, guys. That's how we do those things. Right? We're gonna talk about this next part in a moment. But let me just set this up for you guys. Here we go. Right. Here we. Think about this. Right. All that emotional feelings of everything going wrong and all the stuff you look at every day that says it's not a service to you. Fight it. You push against it. You try to do something. You never listen. You never let it just in and take its place. So it can dissolve in the boundlessness of your awareness. You push it out because the character, the me, the self, creates the separation of the world. Once you have a me, then all of this is separate from the me, which means everything else is against me, and I must protect this, right? But when you can let that illusion go, then you're able to see, and things become more clear because you're only perceiving of the world that which you believe, that which the reticular activating system is attuned to. That's what you're focused on. And that's where it comes from. And it'll just push out these experiences and you go, wow, woe is me. But when you confront these things, allow these things, you dissolve them. So let's keep moving on, guys. This is powerful.
After the flood comes the silence. Not peace, not clarity, emptiness, no motivation, no identity, no purpose, good. This is the void. Most run from this stage. They panic, they rebuild, they pretend it's over. Don't. Sit in the silence. Sit in the stillness. Let the nothingness become familiar. This is the death of the identity that was never really you. Ask yourself, what if nothing I believe is true? What if I'm not important? What if life is meaningless and I've been distracting myself from that fact? What if the fear I avoid is the doorway to total freedom? Now breathe. Don't fix it. Let it expand. You're rewiring your nervous system to tolerate the unknown. When you stop needing the world to tell you who you are, you finally get to decide for yourself.
You see, this is everything. This is it right here. See, some of these, I'm sharing this with you because if you just start pondering this stuff, if you openly ask yourself these questions and confront these things, you're going to find phenomenal truths that are going to transform you almost instantaneously. Instantaneously. They don't want to show you this because this is what can transform your life overnight. And then they have no more hold over you. They can't convince you to be somebody you're not. You won't be misled and strung around through emotional states that are not just your own. This is powerful. Let's keep going.
This is where real power starts. Now that your false self has collapsed and your mask is gone, you choose what comes next, but not from habit, not from fear, not from imitation, from honesty. Most people rebuild the same self over and over because they never question its parts. This step is conscious identity construction, not positive thinking, not affirmations, sovereign self-design. Ask yourself, am I choosing this because it's safe or because it's mine? Would I still be this way if no one approved? Does this trait serve truth or image? Is this a mask or a mirror? Now build slowly. You don't need a perfect
You see,
Yeah, that was deep right there.
this is what it's really about,
That was deep right there.
right? You have to notice, you have to ask yourself these questions. If you are going out here trying to prove the power of manifestation or life-changing stuff through telling other people and convincing them that what you know is right because they don't have enough information in it, then you don't believe it and it's not going to really work for you. This must be internalized. It is personal. It is within you. And whenever you take that and go without or go outside of yourself to express these things to others, to prove to yourself that it is true, you're only going to get the reinforcement of the illusion, because that's what you're really calling on. Let's keep moving on. What you think? Before we move on, what you feel? How you feel about that? How you feel about this?
I mean, me, I definitely feel that. Definitely feel that. I've always been out the box. The reason why I say I'm out the box is because, you know, I do just have my outlook on everything. Hey, it may be different from yours, but hey, I'm comfortable with my outlook. You have your outlook, and you can be comfortable with it all you want to. I have no judgment on should it be the right way, or should it be the wrong way. That's your judgment on that. I'm only responsible for my judgment, so that's all I care about. You know what I'm saying? It's not oh, I just don't care about somebody's whatever. Really, at the end of the day, whatever that somebody else has to deal with, they have to deal with their own stuff the way that they gonna deal with it, how they gonna deal with it. With me, I have to deal with things that I have to deal with the way I know fit to deal with them. I'm open to suggestions, whatever, however, from close, whatever. But I'm only in control of that. I'm not in control of nothing that nobody else do.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. What this thing specifically, though, is talking about is, are you doing things based off of the criteria of others, right?
Yeah.
Be it your family or friends or your peer group, whatever.
Well,
right?
I feel it starts with that. I feel it starts with that because, you know, as children, we learn what we're taught,
Right,
and what
and-
we see. So, you know, I think it starts with that. And then I think as we get older, you know, that's where everything comes into play because we're now consciously aware of
Well,
being-
as we get older, all we do is run the programs that if you never changed it, why would the program change?
well, that's how a program can continue going by being led around with misinformation. Some people may not be aware of the program fully and be aware of just their part of what they think about the program, and they
Well,
will pass that
They
down.
don't know what a program
But they
is.
will pass it
I
down.
would like to say,
They will pass it down like they know. You know, it's not the kid's fault that the kid is listening and the kid looking highly of the
this is
parent
my-
or whatever.
But the
you know.
point is, like, when you get to an age where you are a sovereign human being, right? These are the type of questions you're going to have to address if you want to be a whole person outside of what you have been created by others to be. We don't realize that the things we want, like most men want a nice car, not because cars are nice, because there was a time in your life it was about a girl or some dude on the block and he had all the girls and the money, right? So is that really your desire? It may have not been. You might have
Yeah,
liked
no.
climbing trees and doing other things prior
Yeah.
to that.
You know,
But
yeah.
you saw this other thing. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And now you've assimilated this into your own personality so you can be accepted or to get those things. You see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, just like you said, as
And
you
this is-
assimilated it into you, that means you had to make that choice, do that. You actually could have said, okay, that's what they want to do. I don't want to do that over there. You have that choice in you, no matter what that's going on over there. That's over there, that's cool. He got all the girls over there, that's cool. He got all of whatever he got over there. That's what he got
We're
over
not
there. That's
talking
cool.
about, we're talking about impressionable minds.
Yeah, I mean-
and how the psychological habit of a program is formed.
Okay. Okay. Well, I when you know,
And
if-
how to get rid of it. And one of those ways is this why I'm showing this video, because these are questions people don't ask themselves.
yeah.
It's not about asking these questions to other people
Mm.
and getting them to answer you about it. You understand?
Mhm.
These are questions to ask yourself. Right? Because this is how you crack. This is a a form of a therapy that was blacklisted because it had profound effects, right? If I don't need to see you for 20 years as a therapist, where does my money come from? If the therapy business is about getting people well over the course of time, then I would never present something to you that would heal you in one session. You know, true hypnotherapists that are really good at it don't have reoccurring customers. Because they solve the issue of the person. They don't put a bandage over it and say, come back 2 weeks later so I can rebandage your wound. Not telling you that, oh, well, if I keep a bandage over it all the time, it never will heal, will it? No, because it needs air. You see where I'm coming from? Let's get back into this. I like your opinion on that. That was good. You know, I have Shorty here because he has his own opinions. And when we conversate, we often are having various opinion opposed to being an echo chamber on one another. So yeah, let's move on and take this in, guys. This is powerful stuff. I'm gonna have to make a video out of this one, man. So later on, you can actually just go ahead and dive in even deeper. But if you got a pen and paper, please be writing this down. Please be taking notes. If you even want to try while it's going along, go ahead and give it a try.
Identity. You need a real one. The foundation of the new self. Truth over comfort. You say what you mean. Feel what you feel. No performance. Rejection is survival. If staying real costs people, it's worth it. No fixed identity. You evolve. You change. You hold nothing as sacred except your awareness. Peace in the unknown. You've already collapsed. You've already faced the void. Nothing can threaten you now. This is the person you were supposed to become, not the one you were trained to be. You did the collapse. Now comes the maintenance. The old self doesn't die quietly. It returns in stress, in routine, in safety. You'll want to rebuild the lie. You'll want to pretend again. Don't. Morning protocol. Ask yourself, what lie am I slipping back into today? What emotion am I avoiding? Am I choosing ease over truth? Where am I betraying myself just to keep the peace? If the answer feels uncomfortable, you're doing it right. Warning, collapse is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. Every time a new layer forms, every time you begin to play a role again, you collapse it again and again until truth is your only identity. Collapse isn't destruction. It's rebirth on your own terms. You now have the full method. It's raw. It's dangerous. It's not meant for everyone, but it's yours now. And what you do with it is your choice. You were never taught to think. You were conditioned to obey. But if you've started questioning the script, if you've felt that cold awareness rising inside you, you're not crazy. You're waking up. That's what Whispers Black Laws was built for. Not to inspire you, but to rewire you. 10 laws they'll never teach, because if they did, you'd become psychologically ungovernable. If you're ready, click the link in the pinned comment.
There you go, guys. Powerful, 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 powerful. There it is. This is my whole point. Psychological ramifications of our lives is the biggest aspect of our lives. And the fact that we live most of our life on autopilot and then wonder why half of the stuff that's going wrong is happening is there you go. You're going to have to get off of autopilot. Or if you're going to be on autopilot, you're going to have to reprogram that autopilot to be a better service to you, because they don't care. They don't care. It doesn't. The infinite has no stake in the game. The infinite is the infinite. Life is contraction and expansion. Everything is already perfect the way it is. Whether you accept it or not, you're doing exactly what you was meant to do, and you can do nothing other than. So this whole illusion that you're just making it uncomfortable for yourself. It don't have to be. You could be living in the worst conditions on earth and still be happy. Happiness doesn't come from your conditions.
Been proven. Proven.
Right? You've been intellectualized. Intellectual people aren't That's why the greatest number of depressed people are highly intelligent. You have to be thinking all the time. Stupid people, you ever notice stupid people? You ever see how you catch stupid people unhappy all the time? Very seldomly. Stupid people are usually very happy. They don't hold on or harbor the thing because they're not thinking about it. It's just that simple. But you know what? I want to share something with y'all. I want to share one of my music videos. And this is one that's called Still Here. So please enjoy. And the next music video.
Digest this process and take on progress. Vulnerable in the scene, feel the vibe. I misguided media, manipulating on minds. Left or right, you decide. The evil is hell, ain't no divide. The road I'm on is built on lives of those who die believing in lies. But these streets are made with concrete. These streets are made with blood. These streets are made with beauty.
Well, we're having some technical difficulties with the internet here. It's been 1,000 degrees, and I don't know what's going on with the internet, but it be acting kind of unsuspected at times.
Overheat.
Mm-hmm.
The internet is overheating.
But yeah, I think this is a good place to end this one for now. And listen, join me. I'm getting ready to go live in a little bit over on Talib Kurds. There's only now. It'll be a fire up. Just to let you know, please come join me. And I want to thank you all for joining me and my buddy Shorty Bro. Please follow him at Trendy World on YouTube and Instagram. And yo, we'll see you